Good. Okay. So, Karen, this is wonderful. I'm very excited to bring you on in front of my audience, and I've just so everyone knows, Karen and I recently got connected through Emilio, and we formed a relationship here, and I've had the honor and the pleasure of working with her. And what I recognize, Karen, is that you have been working on this for a long time, and even in ways when you didn't realize you were working on it. And so for you to engage with me at this, which I feel is a critical point for you, I'm very honored by that.
Thank you.
And so I want to jump.
The pleasure's been mine, trust me.
Yeah. So I want to jump in for the sake of time, and I want one of the things you and I talked about is kind of where you've been, where you are now, and where you're going, and wrapped in the context of the ideal people, and I say women that you want to lift up. And I don't want to take your message away. I want you to share that. So if you would, and we'll have some exchange here as we go back and forth, but if you want, since some folks are just meeting you, some folks have been following you, but let's maybe honor everyone who's going to see this live or see the playback, and let them know kind of who is Karen Drosnes, or I know you like different ways of expressing it, but I'm going to turn it over to you.
Okay. Are you there?
Can you hear me?
I lost audio for a second. I think when I try to speak at the same time with you, it cuts it out.
Yep.
So just let me know that we're still on together. Um,
You're good.
Thank you, Austin. And, as far as where I was, first of all, thank you very much. I really feel very honored to be here with you. And when you asked me to do a live with you, it really just sent vibrations all up and down my spine. I do adore you, and I adore working with you. And where I was about 5 minutes ago, I thought I was going to hang myself with all the technology problems. But they're all figured out, and that's because you're such a smart guy. So, let me take a breath here.
Sure, take your time.
When you talked about a lot of this has been in the making for me for a long time, I'm looking at like 10 years worth of dreaming and planning and thinking and not having anything come to manifestation. And I went through a period of time where I became the living caretaker of my elderly father. And he passed away in January. I was here for 3 years with him. And it just seems like from almost the day he passed away, life just took off and everything started going. I have a long history in my background, talking many years ago. It's kind of hard to even think about that time because it's so past. But, I had a period of time in my life where I just did not have any will to live. There was nothing that brought me joy in life. There was nothing that I thought I was worthy of. I had gone through in my way younger years, in my late teens and early 20s, I had gone through some very violent relationships, and it left me just like completely drained of any desire of life. And I made some shifts in my life without even knowing I was making the shifts. And I was making changes without even knowing I was making the changes. They were happening for me, not because I was doing anything. I became willing. Now I know I became willing. And, you talked earlier about nothing comes overnight and learning the technology and all of that. My success that I'm now birthing has really been in the making more for like 25 years. And it's just all now coming to fruition. And a lot of that is because I finally let go of the need to be what other people expected me to be, or said I should be, or what I should do. One of the things I love to work with women about is releasing the labels that society, our culture, our family, our parents, especially women of the baby boomer and above age, which is who I work with, we were told, you get an education, you get married, you have kids, you raise your kids, and there's your life. And I didn't follow that. I've always been against the grain, but I didn't realize how powerful and wonderful going against the grain was for me. I thought that I was the black sheep. I thought that I was the one that was weird. I thought that I was the one that, oh, here comes something. I thought I was the one that just was not accepted by society because of the way I lived my life. And that came to find out was not true about me at all. It's the uniqueness that makes me who I am. We're all one and the same as one under the Creator, but yet we are all unique in our internal innate being of who we are, so to speak. And so I went through lots of shifts without even knowing I was going through them. And as I said recently, I just started putting what I call pen to paper and just started doing the work. I've worked with a couple of coaches myself. I was certified as a personal development life coach, for the sake of keeping it simple, life coach. I was certified 10 years ago, and I had a little bit of a business for a while going, but I was also at the same time in the period of ending a marriage. And so I didn't get really open and ready and willing to do the work that it took for me to present this stuff that I teach out there. And then after being shattered by a few things again in life at 57 years old, I became certified as an Ayurvedic yoga instructor. I took that training mainly to go deeper into my own spirituality. And maybe some of my old classmates are on watching, and they can vouch that out of everyone in the class, I was the last one anybody expected to ever teach. I was like sitting in the back of the room, just, okay, we're doing this, I'll do that. Okay, we're going here, I'll go there. A lot of resistance. But I ended up teaching yoga for a couple of years. My main demographic was senior citizens or those with injuries to their body. My people, I call them. And so where I'm at now, are you ready to hear what I've got coming up?
Let's do this if you're up for it. And
Sure.
you said a lot of things, and I just want to give people the opportunity to process that and really engage with your story, because you said, and this came up in our conversation, you lost the will to live, you lost the desire to live. And I just want people to understand that, because what I recognize when people listen to these live interviews, everyone's at a different stage in their journey. And there might be some people that are going to listen to this that lost their will to live. And regardless of your age, I mean, we know that that type of feeling can happen at any age, at any time. So I just want people to understand that Karen was at that point, and through her journey now we can kind of move into the now, because, and I think people are going to want to know, how did you do that? And maybe that's a future conversation, but for you to go from that place, that dark place of, I don't have the will to live because of and you said labels. I mean, it's like labels are like a love-hate relationship, right? We need them because they do serve us in some way, but like anything, and in society, it gets extreme, and it boxes people in, it limits people, and I don't want to get too deep into it, but it really can cause havoc in someone's life. And so for you to recognize that those labels that you said aloud at one point, which is a great terminology, because we allow things whether we know it or not, right? Whether we're conscious to it. And so you allowed those labels to back you into that corner, and then you recognized it. Right. And that's a key thing. And then from there, you started to move forward. So I just want people to really understand that part, that they can understand that part of your journey. And now you're at this point, right? You're at the present now. So what does that mean for you now?
Awesome. And, I just want to elaborate a little bit more on what you were just saying too, Austin, is one of the things that I find has been so powerful for me has been the comparison. When I was in the depths of that dreg and in you know, what I would call in the gutter of life, you know, people that I looked up to or looked at, I never thought I could reach that place. And I just want to get really vulnerable here with anyone who's watching, you know, looking at me today and seeing what my life is like today. A lot of people don't understand or can't comprehend. Let me put it that way. You know, I've been in jail. I've been, you know, beaten up. I've been beaten down. I've been in addiction. I've had it all. You know, I've sold myself, not in maybe the terms of standing on a corner,
Right.
7th and Vine, but I would have done anything to just get the next whatever I wanted. And to be where I'm at today took a lot of soul searching. So to move into what you were just asking about, I started this spiritual journey that brought me to where I am probably about 25, 30 years ago, actually a little more than that. And one of the places I started, and some of your audience might recognize, was with Louise Hay and her book, You Can Heal Your Life. And it was about shifting my mindset from the self-talk of hate and disgust and, again, that degradation that I put myself under into starting with simple little affirmations. I want to jump in real quickly and say, you know, we have so many philosophies and teachings, and so many people say today, oh, you have to love yourself. Well, when you're in the pit of hell, you don't know how to love yourself. You can't go from 0 to loving yourself. So there's, so I started small with a sticky note on my bathroom mirror that said, you're okay.
That's a very important distinction that people need to get there. Is that simple small act of you're okay, so you can wake up and read it, and then eventually start to believe it.
Exactly. It starts to shift. You know, the mind is a magical thing, and I'm really learning more and more every day that my mind does not control me, that I can control the mind. And that was a lot of what came out in my yoga training, you know, going beyond the mind and knowing that there's a universal energy and plan at work. But going back, it was I couldn't put I love myself, I love you, and look in the mirror. I used to punch mirrors out when I looked at them because I hated the reflection, you know. And so I wasn't able to go right away to, oh, I love you. What? You've got to be kidding me. So I started with, you're all right. You're okay. And then it moved into, I like you. You're all right. You know, I looked myself in the eyes as I looked in the mirror, because the eye connects to the amygdala in the brain. And that's where that shift of all of our great endorphins and DEHAs and all the other chemicals, serotonin, that really spark us into this new thing. So I did. I actually talked myself into feeling better about who I truly am. And real quickly, this isn't the time, and we don't have the time nor the space to talk about all of the things I did for the last 25 years. You know, part of it was being an active member of a 12-step program. That brought a lot of change for me in digging deeper into my spirituality. I became a member of the Center for Conscious Living in Morristown, which is the teachings of science of mind. And it just really started to shift. And it feels right now in my life like it was an overnight change, because as someone so eloquently put it to me yesterday, oh, I see the head. You're birthing right now. You're crowning. Oh, that's what it was. She said, oh, I see the head. You're crowning, because I'm about to launch my podcast that I'm doing called Sensual Over 60.
Yes.
And it's,
Beautiful.
yeah, it's like within the
exciting.
next maybe couple of weeks, that's going to go live and be launched on Apple iTunes. And I'm really excited about that. But it's not an overnight. And if you think you're going to get anywhere overnight, you might. I'm not in control of that. You just might. I would never tell anybody that anything's impossible. I know for me, it took a lot of years, and it took a lot of work, and it took a lot of letting down my barriers, my walls, and my resistance to thinking limitedly, like I'm just not here. My big one, as I think a lot of women my age are, we're not enough.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
that's just got to go.
Yes. Absolutely. And I just want to jump back for a minute because something jumped at me that I want to point out at you when you said you punched the mirror. I want to just offer, because someone may be in that space, that it wasn't you that you hated. Maybe it was how you were living.
Thank you. And I do talk about this when I share my story with a lot of people. You know, again, I'm getting really vulnerable because I do want people to know where I was and what is possible. I'm not a proponent of the saying, if I can do it, you can do it too, because that may not be true. I don't know. What I do know is possibilities are unlimited. So going back to your statement, you know, I've had a couple of suicide attempts in my life. Obviously, they didn't work or I wouldn't be sitting here with you. However, what I came to find out in the work that I did, when I say the work, I'm talking about my spiritual journey and journaling and reading and following spiritual teachers and whatnot. What I came to find out is I wanted the woman that was the loose and fancy-free drug addict, alcoholic scum. I wanted her to die. I wanted to let go of her. I wanted to let go of the one that said you'll never be anything. I wanted to let go of the one that listened and allowed other people's negative opinions about me. I wanted her to go away so that I could make room for the beautiful goddess that I am today. I'm not conceited by saying I'm a goddess. I'm talking reality. I'm talking the truth. It's something I know, like I know my eyes are going to blink today.
There's a knowingness.
It's a knowingness. And so, yeah, letting go of, I feel very strongly that little by little putting down our walls that keep the messages of our worthiness out, because deep down inside it all comes down to, how do I feel about myself? I can't get affected or attacked by anybody else's point of view about me if I don't already feel that way about myself. So today, if someone critiques me in an area that sends me like, I need to take a look at, why am I thinking that way about myself? Or not even why, but what is it about me that agrees with that? And to let that agreement go and say, yeah, no, that's not the truth of who I am. And stand back into my knowingness. A lot of this too, again, I just can't say enough. A lot of this wasn't my mind doing this. It wasn't Karen, the human being, doing this. It was the allowing of the divine intervention to move through me and speak to me.
That's a beautiful way to say it. It's an opening up. There's a quote that says, when you quit the battle, you win the war.
Amen.
And
Amen.
it sounds like that's what happened.
As we say in the program, surrender to win.
Surrender to win.
Surrender to win.
So
not easy.
No.
I don't want anyone to think that that's always easy.
No.
However, I will say this, that once you continue down that journey and down that path of surrendering to win, it does become easier. Things today, or things, let's say 20 years ago, that would have sent me into a little ball in the corner of my room, crying for days, eating gallons of ice cream just roll off my back now.
And it took some work to do that.
A lot of work.
So
And a lot of trust.
So I just want to say hello to everyone who's listening. We have some listeners on here, and there's going to be people listening to the playback. I want to give you the opportunity, if you want, to share your message, because we've talked about, you and I have talked about that. And are you up for it? Do you want to share your message today?
I was thinking about that because I think might be doing something in the very near future, like tomorrow night doing that.
Sure.
But I can give it a try.
Yeah, so if you want to, and by the way, yeah, it's a good lead in. So Karen's going to be joining me tomorrow night at Master Your Message in Westmont, New Jersey. We'll talk more about that. But yeah, if you want to give it a try, just because I want people to, it kind of is a reflection of where you are now. And I think we've covered a lot of things about you, and it's an amazing story, a testament of where you've come from and where you are today, and how, I use like the word radiant comes into my mind of how you're going to radiate and continue this journey and this work that you're doing, and how many women need your message. So that's why I want to give you the opportunity here to reach them.
I am going to give that specific message that you're talking about, but for those that are listening right now, I just want women to know, okay, so here we go.
Yeah.
I provide life coaching to women of a certain age who have fallen under the expectations and labels of what everyone else said they should be, to reignite the flame of the goddess that lives within them. After losing my own will to live, I did the work and understood totally what it means to be a sensual woman over 60.
Beautiful.
Women, if you're listening and you're of that, and if I use the term certain age, women of a certain age know what I mean by that.
Actually,
we are not dead.
So, I want to share this with you, because one of my neighbors who might be listening had a conversation about you this morning, and I used that terminology, and it just, you're right. I mean, it speaks loud and clear, and I love the way you I mean, not only the wording, but just the heart. Like, you can feel, I felt your message. I feel it. I feel it. So,
That's good.
It's okay. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Thank you, Austin. Because that's what I want. I'm passionate about helping women. I don't do the work, they do it.
Mm-hmm.
I just give them prompts and guides and suggestions on how to shift and recognize that no matter what age you are created as a divine, sensual goddess. And I'm not talking, when I say sensual, I'm not talking sexual. I'm talking sensual, which is the pleasure of life. I want every woman to be vibrant with life and energized with life, no matter the circumstances or conditions that, one, are in your body, or two, that surround you in your environment. This is inside of you. It's who you are and who you're meant to be.
It's beautiful. I want you to share with everyone where you're going, because this is a beautiful message, and we're gonna bring it to a close here to honor everyone's time and lunchtime or whatever they're gonna listen. But where are we going from here, Karen? Where are you going from here?
Well, right now I'm going to go have lunch. No, I'm teasing. You know how I am. I'm very particular about my wording. What am I doing right now? Okay. So I have, again, the head is showing, I'm crowning. I've got a podcast that's going to launch hopefully within the next 2 weeks, Sensual Over 60. My website, new and created, sensualover60.com. will be launching within the next 48 hours. I've created a masterclass of a full-day seminar that will be launching in 2020, and I'm now in the process of taking little bits and pieces of that masterclass and doing a 4-week online course, all for sensual over 60 women.
Wow.
And if you think that you're not a sensual over 60 woman, then you must definitely come and join me. If you think you're a sensual over 60 woman, please come and share your own growth experience, strength, and hope with the rest of us. I don't want to be alone on this journey, and I'm not. So
Yeah.
whether you are or whether you think you are or you think you're not, guess what? Here's the place for you to be.
Beautiful. And I just want to share with you, Susan, and forgive me, Susan, if I'm not pronouncing your name right, but it's Fete or Fet?
Susan Fetty, yeah.
Fetty.
Hi, Sue.
She said, great job, Karen. Great video, great information. Thank you for sharing your journey and your authenticity. Heart, heart, heart. So
I've known Sue for a while. I met her through the Center for Conscious Living, and we are also right now in a online class, let's put it that way,
Okay.
in Access Consciousness together. And I just love sharing life with Sue. She's awesome. She's a goddess.
Okay, that's beautiful. So this is awesome, Karen. I think this video. I know this video is going to reach people, and we want you to share it with. And I always invite people to share it. Not necessarily, you don't need to share it on your wall, but there might be somebody in your life that needs to hear this message. Send it as a private message. It's specifically for them. Let them hear Karen's message. Let them learn about Karen and what she's doing. And I'm just, again, honored to be able to work with you and continue this journey. As you know, we're working together. And for those of you, if you want to meet Karen's going to be live with me. That's my dog barking in her sleep, by the way.
Hi, Liberty.
She's barking in her sleep. But anyway, tomorrow night we're going to be at the Fish Tank in Westmont, New Jersey, and Karen is going to be there. And what you just heard, Karen's message, we're going to be practicing that live. Karen's going to be delivering that message live in front of people as a part of her journey. And this is a stepping out. And I just want to point out to everyone that it's a bold step. It's a courageous step what Karen's doing. And it took work to get to that point. But you can be that person too. And it doesn't mean you're going to do what Karen's doing, but there's steps for you. There's steps that you can take in your journey, and they might be small. They might be putting the sticky note on your mirror that says, I'm okay. That might be your starting point. But we invite you to, I always invite people to get out of their silo and connect with Karen, connect with me. Maybe join us tomorrow night in Westmont, New Jersey. I'll post a link for that ticket. And Karen, is there anything else you want me to post in here?
I'm gonna,
post your
gonna
podcast?
ask you to post, or I can go ahead and put it in the comments under this after
Sure.
it's over. My website,
Yes.
which will have all the events I'm doing, all the things I'm up to. There will be a newsletter with it, a
Yes.
blog, all kinds of wonderful ways to follow just under the website itself. So
Okay.
I can put the link to that in there, or you can do that. And before we do end, and thank you everyone for holding in with us, I just need to express my gratitude to you, Austin, because a lot of what I'm doing right now it was expedited by the work I've been doing with you and
Bless you.
your faith in me,
Yep.
that you have helped move me quickly through. I just a little tidbit, folks, when I say, well, maybe I'll get this, and Austin will be like, all right, when? What day? When are we doing that? Let's do this. So, Austin, you have been a huge proponent in my life to catapult me into where I am today with what I'm birthing, with what's happening right now. So thank you.
It's my honor and privilege, and thank you for giving me the ability to share my gift.
I do also want to say one of the things that came out about this that some of you may not know, because if Emilio's still on here, I want to give a shout out to him.
I think he is.
Also, during this recent journey, since my father died, I've become an international award-winning #1 best-selling author.
Yes, beautiful.
Forgot about. Here we go. I've got it right here.
There's the book. So I don't know if Emilio's still on there, but yeah, there's the book. So you become an international best-selling author through the efforts of Emilio's co-authorship, and and I'm glad you brought that up, because I don't think that's something you should hide. I think it's something you should share with people.
Yeah, and shout out to Bridget Papagno, because she's the one who introduced me.
Yes.
to Emilio.
Okay.
Lots of great stuff. I could go on forever
Yep.
and ever. I love talking about how life just, it can change on a dime in both ways. You can get the rug pulled out from under you, and you can just expand into gloriousness
Yes, you can.
quickly if you let it.
Yes, you can.
Blessings, my friend.
Blessings. Thank you so much. I'm going to download this. I'm going to share it. We're going to put 2 links in there. If you want to meet Karen tomorrow night, come down to the Fish Tank in Westmont, New Jersey. If not, she's going to put her link of her information that you can begin to follow her, and as her journey continues to unfold, be a part of it. Be a part of it.
Thanks
And
for the
take a step for
opportunity,
yourself.
Oscar.
Blessings. Thank you,
Blessings.
Karen.